Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And this is a pick a card reading on why your twin flame won't contact you. So I have had a lot of people asking me about this, and I do just want to say that there are many factors at play here. If you are the person who is quote unquote the twin flame chaser and they're the runner, or basically you are the one who's really into this person, you feel like they're your twin flame, you have this strong soul connection with them, but they've blocked you, or they're not in contact with you, or you've reached out and they're not really doing anything, they're not pursuing you, they've stopped seeing you, then this is definitely a reading for you. I do have to say, for some of you guys that are coming here, this might just be the case of a person that you're into that's just not that into you, or maybe you just isn't interested. So definitely trust your heart and keep that in consideration. That's something really hard to hear, but you know, occasionally I am doing these readings, and that is the message I do have to deliver to some people, that look, I feel like this is somebody who isn't your divine counterpart, or is somebody who has, you know, is moving on or going in a different direction, or, you know, doesn't feel the same way about you. That does happen. But this is a reading for those of you guys who feel like, I know this is my twin flame, they've admitted they have feelings for me, you know, they are really feeling it, and we've had this connection, but we're just, for whatever reason, you're in that twin flame separation and they're not contacting you. Remember, if this is your true twin flame or soulmate, then there is going to be some mirroring that happens here. So if you are not in contact with certain aspects of yourself, or you're not, you know, acknowledging certain aspects of yourself, or you're not giving yourself that love or that approval, or you're feeling unworthy, those blocks inside of you could be part of what's manifesting the separation between you and your twin. So I really do believe the twin flame journey causes you to work even more on yourself, and causes you to self-reflect more, and it can actually be a really positive thing that helps you to grow and helps you to learn. But of course it is really difficult when you're in this separation. So this reading isn't to blame the other person, like, oh, and give all these excuses as to why they're not contacting you. It really is to show you more about what's happening inside of you that could be mirroring this separation. So it's kind of a different angle on this. And I actually do have my partner John here with me to help with this reading.
Hey.
So he's here and he's gonna kind of sound off on some of this. And so once again, this is a reading if you have a twin flame, or maybe this is a crush or a soulmate, or someone you suspect to be your twin flame, and why this person is not in contact with you, or not replying to you, or just you guys are kind of out of sync right now in separation. So go ahead and choose a number or a crystal to receive your message. By the way, I do have allergies, so that's why I sound a little bit stuffed up, but I'm feeling pretty good. Just allergies because I'm staying right next to these olive groves, and who would have known that coming to Italy I would be allergic to olive trees. So it's pretty interesting. So go ahead and choose number 1, the Amethyst crystal, number 2, the Aventurine, number 3, the Jasper, and number 4, the Quartz crystal. And let's get you your message. If you choose number 1, the Amethyst, we're going to get started. If you choose any of the other ones, head down to the comments below, where my lovely subscribers always post the timestamps for me. And thank you guys once again for helping me out with that. So let's go ahead and get started. What do your cards have to say? Why is your twin flame not in contact with you? Very, very interesting. John is also taking a look at these cards to see what he's grabbing from it, but I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. So first of all, this is something I do see a lot, and I find in my own life that when I'm very focused on my work and trying to grow my work, it's kind of difficult sometimes to feel like I have the time or the space or the energy to connect with somebody in love. Even if I'm really into the person, if I have a lot going on at work, I'll probably think, you know what, I need to get this done with, and then I can like move on to that. So I see that your twin flame is very focused on their work and growing their skills right now. This is so important for them. They really don't want any distractions. I do see there has been a dark night of the soul as well for your twin flame, and so if this is your twin, this is probably something you've been going through. You're probably trying to grow your work right now in your career, And you might have gone through a time of depression or like a dark night of the soul. And so this is just trying to figure out who you are, what your soul mission and life purpose is, what area you want to move forward in your life, and also what steps you need to take to be in alignment. So I just see for your twin flame, it's really been this time of trying to align themselves to their truth. I'm also seeing this message about passion. Like they're not feeling connected to passion in general in their life. So this makes me wonder, like, have you found your passion in life? Is this something that you're working on right now? I would definitely say, work on that passion and finding that passion in yourself. That could help take down some of these blocks. I'm also getting a message about an engagement. It could be that your twin is engaged to somebody else or is with somebody else, and there's been conversations about that. About them and the relationship that they're in, trying to move forward onto the next level with this person. And so I do see some red flags there, because, they're feeling a red flag about reaching out to you or connecting with you or talking to you because of this engagement. This could be on their end or on your end. Maybe you are engaged to somebody, or maybe you are in a relationship, or perhaps you're even married. And so they do see that this is a red flag, that they shouldn't pursue you because you're in another relationship. If for some reason you guys are both single here, then this could mean that they don't want a relationship right now. Like they're feeling kind of blocked in this area. And so yeah, for you guys who chose number 1, I'm seeing a lot of blocks here. I mean, it makes sense why they're not in contact with you. John, are you seeing anything from these cards so far?
I'd say kind of like what you were talking about with the mirroring, that with engagement, like a lot of people, they don't realize that when they have blockages and when they're not living their life and like really opening up like the dark shadows, and kind of digging into what's going on with them personally, they may actually have signs externally that are telling people like that I don't want a relationship. And so you might have these kind of blockages because you're working through stuff, or even your twin is working through stuff. Like you said, you don't know if it's a reflection of you or if it's your twin.
Yeah.
But it could mean that basically they or you appear like they don't want a relationship externally, even though internally they might have a desire.
Yeah.
And that's a result of needing to still work through, like I see the transformation card there.
Yeah. Growth,
clarity, faith.
I haven't read these yet.
But along with skills, I see the guardian there. That's 2 times we've seen the guardian.
Yeah.
And this blockage of like emotional freedom, expression, that kind of stuff, ecstasy, being upside down. I'd say this is to do with like internal conflict. I would say almost like unconscious blockages and baggage and that sort of thing. Sometimes making it appear like on the outside, like you don't want a relationship, you don't want attention, even though you're like desperately like wanting it on the inside. On the outside, it comes across as somehow, I'm not saying there's an explanation for it, but somehow it comes across as maybe cold or distant or aggressive or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel that so much. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting, is just like a lot of internal conflict. So the question you need to ask yourself is, where are you conflicted? Where are you? Remember, this mirrors back to you. The twin flame is a mirror of you. So you need to ask yourself, where are you conflicted when it comes to your life, when it comes to your passions, when it comes to your talents? Are there any areas or any ways that you're feeling not worthy in love? And finding a way to give yourself that love and that time and that attention and that approval. Unfortunately, the most frustrating thing with the twin flame is that the more that you focus on them and the lack of the connection, and the more frustrated you get and the more hung up on it you get and the more time and energy you give to that, the less time and energy you have to actually removing these blocks by focusing on working on this inside of yourself. And so this is a message about focusing on your own growth, because that's what they're doing. And then, they're going through a huge transformation right now, and it's going to take time. I remember, like, when I first started going through my spiritual awakening, like, if I was to unite with a twin flame like right then, that would have been really difficult for me looking back on it, because it was just not a good time. Like I was very, very just like these cards look, honestly, like the beginning of a spiritual awakening, trying to figure out your place in the world, trying to figure out what you're gonna do with your life, trying to figure out what you want, and then also clearing a lot of blocks and traumas, and so kind of what I see here is that this person is really focused on that, and still not feeling comfortable to like really take steps and action in their love life, even though they do want a connection, even though they might very well want this. And so clarity is going to help this situation. I'm seeing a message of, if you can find clarity in yourself of what you really want besides your twin flame, because obviously you really want your twin flame, but there's got to be other goals, there's got to be other things that you want to accomplish in your life, and finding that peace too, because you can find excitement and passion through following your goals. We talk a lot about your life mission and soul purpose on this channel, but also finding peace in what is. Like accepting that maybe it's not the right time for you guys. Also accepting that this person, they might not be trying to be vindictive or kind of, distant on purpose, like John said. It could be that they need that space. They need that time for their transformation. And also maybe it's that you also need it as well. And so this is definitely a message about faith here, to know that if this is meant to move forward, these blocks will be cleared, and the angels are watching over this situation. And I am just seeing a message that both of you guys are going through this growth. And so as far as how to block this this like time of separation between you guys, how to remove the blocks, I'm going to say focusing on your passion. Turning this card upside down is going to help. Do you have any other tips that you're seeing, John, that's coming out? Can you get closer? Talk louder?
I'm showing up in the video.
No, you're not. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. They always say, John needs to talk louder.
I'd say the biggest problems with this is probably, like you're saying, expression somehow, some kind of emotional expression, movement. Blockage is usually, like, to me, saying there's some kind of imbalance that like is keeping you from feeling it, like from noticing it, from being aware of the blockage. A lot of times it's funny, like we don't notice that we have lost track of something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like how would you forget? Like how would you remember that you forgot something? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would say maybe this is talking about maybe making a habit out of giving your unconscious side a regular time to come out and talk, basically. Yeah. Like writing, singing, dancing, that kind of thing, where you can let go of the conscious processes of things and just allow something really random and
like your artistic side.
Yeah, exactly.
I talk about that all the time on the channel, just like that's why it's so important to make art and to create and to make sure you're not blocking that energy, because it'll create a healthy outlet for it, and it can actually create change in your life. So I see that as a message here to essentially just focus on your passion. So I hope that this resonates with you. Thank you so much for visiting my channel and for watching, and I will see you later. Peace out. So next, why is your twin flame not contacting you? Number 2, the Aventurine crystal. Let's get into this. So, it's interesting because we do have a twin flame card here. All right. And so I feel like this is a strong message that for a lot of you guys who chose number 2, this is definitely real. This person is very likely your twin flame. And I do feel that they're very attracted to you. They want to give the relationship a chance and they want to make the effort, but the hang up here seems to be like they're caught up in some kind of situation. Like they've made choices and they have taken a certain path that has led them to really care a lot about what the other people around them think. And so they feel like if they just completely abandon the situation they're in and like pursue you, their twin flame, that they're going to get a lot of judgment for that it's going to make a lot of changes in their life. Obviously it would change a lot. I don't feel like they're like afraid of the connection like a lot of people say. I just feel like this person is afraid of making changes, and taking a risk like that. And a lot of it does seem to have to do with their family and like the perception of the people around them. And I feel like it could have to do with something regarding children. Maybe this person has children or is married with children, or they're considering the children and something like that. It could also have to do with a pet or something. Maybe your twin is living with another person and they have a pet together and they have like this little family and they don't want to break it up. I do feel like for a lot of people there's a third party situation here, because we do see that. And it could go both ways, or just be on your end or on their end. I feel like it's more on their end. I'm also getting a message for those of you guys that doesn't apply to. It could also be that this person has these childhood wounds and they're afraid to, there is a fear of pursuing what they really want. And like a lot of people pleasing going on. Like the path that they're on doesn't really seem like it's their authentic path. And like they're pleasing a lot of people around them and really just trying to work for the image. They might even not be aware of that. And so I feel like this is a message to you. Remember, your twin flame mirrors you. Ask yourself, where are you being a people pleaser in your life? Are you making any choices in your life about like just long-term plans, goals, dreams that are affected by other people around you and their expectations? Find a way to separate yourself from those expectations and try to choose your authentic path. Move more in alignment with your authenticity. And I feel like that will help move you closer to your twin flame. And then of course the beautiful trust card is coming out here to tell you that this situation is being guided over. I feel a strong message like you shouldn't contact this person because spirit is really working in their life, and this is something that time is going to heal. And it's you're in separation and no contact for a reason right now. I feel like it's really good for them. Maybe not necessarily for you, which is hard, but I feel like it's good for them and what they need right now. And there is a message about the happiness and joy you guys have when you do contact, when you do communicate, when you are together. But there is a lot that needs to be cleared here. And I feel like a lot of it revolves around, not being authentic to your true path, or the people pleasing. So what are you seeing here, John?
You said most of it. I'd say maybe the only thing that popped out to me was these last two cards. Making the effort, working on your partnership. I feel like in these situations when people are surrounded by a lot of people with a lot of opinions and they're getting a lot of pressure and they're acting on that pressure and responding to it in like an unhealthy way, that the idea of entering into a partnership with somebody else just seems like, one more person who's going to want something from me.
Yeah.
And so it's going to push them away from it because they're just feeling drained. They're feeling like they're stretched in a lot of different directions.
Yeah.
And so if you come into this situation asking for things, wanting to initiate a relationship, etc., that it's going to come at a bad time.
Yeah.
And that
I feel that for
working
this
on the basis of like support and from the basis of like kind of at a distance being like that supportive person.
I always say setting them love and light. Just thinking of them in a kind way, in a caring way, praying that the situation will work out for the highest good of everyone who's involved.
If they're asking for stuff from you, don't initiate in like a what's the way, like where you just like go overboard and like, anything you want, here you go, here's this and here's that.
If they do, because they're not in contact. So if they do contact you and they...
I say this is an opportunity for you to be supportive in a way that is like, I guess you could say, I don't want to make it sound awkward, but be supportive as if you're like a family member. Yeah. Like, how sometimes in families, like somebody's asking you for help and you'd be like, okay, like here's a moderate amount of help. I'm going to support you and encourage you to do the things that you have responsibilities to do. Yeah. That way, like, they're reaching out to you and they see you as somebody who's supportive. Somebody who is not getting involved because they know that it's their decision and their choices and their actions.
I see that. Like, that's a message, is don't get involved and try to help them fix their problems. or reach out and say like, I'm worried about you, or you, like, that's gonna make them not feel strong, like they can handle it on their own. So they have to figure this out, and they have to get into their authenticity, and so do you. And so there's a strong message with this one not to reach out, I do have to say, and it could be a while before you hear from them. That's a whole other reading. But I am seeing kind of like there is a good chance here, you know. There's a twin flame card. They want to give this a chance. They are going to make the effort, but they're being spread too thin.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
An example scenario I'm just coming up with would be like somebody who, you know, you have this kind of connection with them, but they're possibly married. Maybe they do have kids.
Yeah.
And you can't get involved in that situation.
Yeah.
That's messy.
Yeah.
And it's not helpful.
I talk to people in this situation every day.
It's going to be hurtful to everybody involved.
Yes.
And getting entangled in that is just, it's going to be destructive.
Yeah.
So you have to wait.
And it will ruin the trust that you have between you guys. Yeah. You know?
And you have to wait so that when this other person has actually managed all of these issues responsibly.
Yes.
Figured out a way for them to compromise with the people that are involved with, so that they can leave the situation peacefully or responsibly.
Yeah. And
that way, when you do enter into a relationship, you can do so as free agents.
Yes. And they'll come to you. They'll come to you and tell you, yeah, I'm leaving them, and that's what you want to kind of wait for.
Because you don't want to...
Or you might be the person in the other shoes of the one needing to free up your situation to, you know... I saw that for the first group, but I'm really seeing that for the second group here.
It's like if you're...
For those of you guys who it doesn't involve a third party, you're single and they're single, it really might have to do more with their family and their work. It's like in these entanglements and like the people pleasing and stuff like that. Yeah. So, anyways, I would say the best advice here is to really look at yourself and think like, where am I not being authentic to myself on this path, and to start taking steps into alignment, and that will help to open the blocks in this situation. So awesome. I really hope that this resonates with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and for your support, and I will see you later. Peace out. So we are unraveling these situations here to figure out why your twin flame is not in contact with you. So let's go ahead and look at the next group for those of you guys who chose the Jasper crystal, or number 3. So we got a lot of cards on this situation. It does seem a bit complicated. First thing that's standing out to me is your twin flame is feeling really jaded. And I felt like that before. John, you felt like that before. Can you explain what it's like to feel jaded when it comes to love?
I guess you just start feeling like everything looks like a repetitive thing. You've already been through it. You don't have a taste for some kind of, I don't know, some kind of change, because you feel like, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's just going to repeat some pattern you've been living, you've been experiencing, and the idea
like love is just a marketing scheme.
Yeah, right.
Some people say that. Some people are like, oh, it's just a chemical reaction.
It's just to sell food or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and I would say that jadedness comes from being bored.
Yeah.
Feeling like there's not going to bring that love or this positive relationship that you're thinking of, that entering into it is not going to bring any inspiration into your life.
Yeah.
That it's going to make it worse.
Yeah. Like it's going to cause drama.
And you're just like, it's a distraction, you know, a lot of times. And that's true. Like, I've known a lot of people who when I see them enter into a relationship with somebody, that person becomes a distraction.
Yeah.
And that is true. That can happen.
But it's all based off of your choices. Yeah. That's what I'm realizing here. It's their choices that have led them here, and also it's the fact that they don't have a higher vision for like their life. Like, you are the master creator of your life, and you can create a really peaceful, blissful life. Like, shit's always gonna happen. There's always gonna be contrast, but life is what you make it. And so I do see with your twin, it's like they need to allow tenderness. They need to allow somebody to come into their life and touch their heart in that beautiful way. And that's what they really need. And they're probably just really upset because they've had a lot of injustice in this area.
I feel like it's like restriction. They just see relationships as more restriction, more rules, more, less of their own time to themselves, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on in this situation. They do seem to be kind of waiting for you, just like but they might not be aware of it. Like they're waiting for the right connection, but it's kind of under the guise of like, I don't want a connection. This is also saying that they're actually they're stepping up to the next level in their life. They're becoming very wise. They're moving towards making some big changes. This is also saying maybe this person is a teacher or a leader, or they're getting they might be undergoing some training, but they're gonna get some kind of new position in their job, or like I just feel like they're doing well in that area. As far as their life mission and soul purpose, they really do seem to be like doing good at work, or like I said, they're training or they're being trained by someone else, and they are very wise, and I feel like they're getting opportunities to teach others, and I think they're gonna find happiness through that and feel more fulfilled. So they're moving towards a more fulfilled path, but I still feel like there's a lack of a higher vision for their life and like what they really want to do, like what they really want to accomplish, and how they want to pursue their life and their desires. But the one thing is for sure, they are very attracted to you, and there's chemistry here. And then we see the true love card. And so, maybe you were worried. Maybe some of you guys are worried because what I said at the beginning is like, for some of you guys, this is just a person that's just not that into you. But for you guys, this says, maybe you're worried that there's not enough attraction or chemistry here. But this card's reversed, saying, no, for real, there is attraction, there is chemistry, but it's being kind of covered up by the fact that this person is feeling jaded and has turned this side of themselves off. There is true love here, though. There's romance between you guys. But then we see the release your ex card. So for a lot of you guys, we've been talking a lot about third-party situations. It's very common with the twin flame that one party is going to be with someone else, or both parties are going to be with someone else, or one party can't commit because they're still hung up on their ex, or this or that. There's always like karmic attachments and all these cords you got to cut, and that's what makes the twin flame journey so intense and also so beautiful, because when you finally get together, it's like there's so much clearing that happens, and the union is so beautiful. It's like this path, like you guys have come so far for each other, and so I feel like they got to work on their worthiness. They're gonna have a spiritual awakening. I feel like it hasn't happened yet, and maybe it's happened for you, but part of them being able to feel like they can contact you again is they have to release their ex. They need to release somebody, and that makes sense, because we were talking about them feeling kind of bitter and jaded. I mean, obviously there's a person that made them feel that way. There was something that happened in their life that caused that. And so, what do you think, John? There's a lot of cards here, a lot of information. Do you see any other reasons why this person is not in contact?
I see like hanging on to the past in some way. Like both the release your ex and this kind of jaded thing, I think is alluding to how like you can have some kind of memory of something, maybe an experience or maybe a whole relationship from the past where either it was abusive and it was bad, and that's turned your opinion about love into something that's really negative, or you had a great relationship that you felt was actually really helping you, and it ended before you wanted it to. And as a result, you're hanging on to this kind of golden era of your life, thinking like it has to, if it's going to start up again, it's going to have to be at this high standard. It's going to have to be just like it was. It's going to have to go right back to normal and everything. But like this you deserve love thing, I think is just saying, let go of the past, let go of the standards, let go of these old experiences, allow these new types of experiences to come in to change your mind. about what you like and don't like.
And these are messages for you too, the person who's watching this, because remember, you and your twin flame are mirrors to each other. So in order to clear these blocks, work on your worthiness, allow your spiritual awakening, your ascension, release your ex, maybe release your twin, like not like cutting the cord with them, but releasing them, like surrendering, like letting this be like one of the infinite possibilities of what could happen, and not holding on to your expectations so hard of like how and when this is going to happen. I also see, creating a higher vision for yourself and for your life, allowing tenderness in your, allowing yourself to be tender to yourself. Believing in true love. If you're feeling jaded, trying to find a way to get your zest and your vitality back, maybe getting out in nature, that will help a lot. Moving forward, becoming a leader in your life. These are some ways you can help clear these blocks. So I hope that this resonates with you guys. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and for watching this. I really hope that this helped you, and I will see you later. Peace out. So for those of you guys who chose number 4, why is your twin flame not in contact with you? For those of you guys who chose number 4 or the quartz, let's lay out these cards. To be honest, I feel like for a lot of you guys that chose this, your twin flame actually will be contacting you pretty soon. I feel like for some of you guys, you're on the fence about whether or not you want this, because it's gonna make a lot of changes in your life. Like, it's gonna change everything. It could even change your home situation, your living situation, your lifestyle. Maybe the person that you're with, maybe you're in a relationship, or you've been dating other people, and this is saying like you need to fully commit, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And so this is saying like going all in, like claim your twin flame. And a simple way that you claim your twin is just by saying a prayer, like I claim my twin, like I trust in this connection, like I know it's gonna work out, and I'm open to waiting and just trusting in the divine timing and not outlining this, letting go of my expectations. I surrender to the deeper knowing that this is my twin. And so maybe not doubting it and worrying about it and not going back and forth on it so much. This is a very natural progression though, very natural thing that happens. And so it's like you don't want to force it, but there is this message that you need to make up your mind. Like, do you want this? And everything that comes along with it. Your twin flame is really very dedicated right now to some type of transition that they're making. They're headed to a really beautiful place. They're willing to take charge and to step forward to make changes. There have been some affirmations that have gone out, and I feel like for this person, it's like they've just been kind of stuck in the same place. It's almost like Groundhog Day for them, living the same day over and over again, kind of stuck in a routine in their life. But I feel like recently, past 5-6 months, probably probably the summer and all those eclipses that happened, the energy of that I feel like really got to them and has kind of pushed them to create more change and to take like a bigger step forward in their life. And so I feel like there's this transition that's happening with them, and they are deciding what they want, and they're taking a more active approach in their life. And so if they're gonna like want to pursue something in love, if you're your twin flame, I feel like this could happen soon because of the energy that I'm feeling here. They are kind of confused when it comes to you and when it comes to their love life. And so this confusion might also be part of why they haven't been reaching out to you. But I do feel like they sense the destiny around you guys in your connection. They feel a really beautiful, nurturing energy coming from you. They're willing to wait for this energy to clear. And I feel like a lot of the energy of why you guys are no contact, or like not in limited contact or whatever, is because you're healing some issues right now. Maybe you told them about this. Maybe it's just obvious to them because they're your twin. They feel a strong connection. There's a telepathy between you guys. You are becoming more independent in your life, forgiving your parents in a way, and trying to heal from if there's any abuse or any abandonment or any neglect in your childhood. It's like you're coming to terms with that right now and finding a way to really find your peace in your center and to kind of acknowledge those old wounds so they can flow out through you. So it's almost like the ball's more in your court here. Not to say you should contact them, but I feel like this is a lot of internal work you have to do. This person is doing their work and they're getting closer to you, and I feel like it's time for you to step up to do the work to make this come together. So what do you have to say about that, John? What do you see?
Did you already cover anything about distance, like physical distance?
No, go ahead and say whatever comes to you. Yeah.
I just get the feeling that there's some kind of it could be physical distance, like you're far away from each other,
Yeah.
but I also feel like the message is about, like you said, there's some effort that's necessary on your part.
Yeah.
You making some kind of an effort, there's some work involved, maybe covering some kind of distance, and this could be emotional distance too. But like, I think with this card here, talking about travel maybe.
Yeah.
And then this here, this kind of being called.
It's like you're gonna have to be willing to go the distance, either literally or metaphorically, to decide is this what you really want. Because I feel like it's a fantasy in your head and you think about it, but the reality of it is like you're gonna have to make a lot of changes, and this person is starting to make changes, and it's a matter of like you're willing to meet them in the middle.
I feel like it's like a leap of faith type of thing, like
yeah.
And like I see the same thing. I don't see that there's this necessarily like it has to happen now kind of thing, but I do feel like it's saying that you have to make a decision and maybe start planning this like really soon, or this opportunity is going to begin slipping away.
I feel that,
and you'll have to wait for some other opening again. And who knows how long that could be.
Right. Oh my gosh, I feel that message so hard. Yes. So I hope that this resonates with you. Thank you so much for visiting my channel, and I will see you later. Peace out.